Hey everyone, I just finished my first 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat yesterday, and honestly, it was one of the hardest things I have ever done. So I wanted to share my experience for people who are also thinking about going but might be a little scared. Hopefully, this will be helpful for you. Yeah, but first off, I want to say that I have heard that everyone who does this has a completely different experience. So I will just talk about my own. So please take it with a grain of salt. Some people also recommend not having any expectations at all before the first time. They said like you should just roll with it. So yeah, totally up to you if you wanna keep watching, and if you do, let's dive in. I want to go over the logistics first so you know what to expect from this course, and then I will talk about my own experience and takeaways. I have timestamped this video so you can jump around if you like. So yeah, the center I went to was the Northern California Vipassana Center, which is about a 3-hour drive north of the Bay Area. And yeah, as you might already know, it's a 10-day residential course, but you actually stay for 11 nights. So I arrived on Wednesday afternoon and left on the following Sunday morning. So you're really there for 12 days, including a day 0 for arrival and day 11 for departure. And in terms of the lodging was actually nicer than I expected. So there are multiple cabins, and I stayed in a heated cabin with 5 people total. It had 3 rooms. One person had their own individual room, and the other 4 of us were in 2 shared rooms. So I shared mine with my roommates, and each cabin had its own bathroom and shower, which was pretty good. And the food, of course, the food was also provided on site. So you will have breakfast, lunch, and fruits and tea for new students for dinner, and no dinner for returning students. And the food is definitely all vegetarian. I would say it's pretty good vegetarian food. Like for breakfast, you will have things like bread, peanut butter, jelly, oatmeal, cereals, milk, tea, yogurt, fruits, etc. And for lunch, they have different vegetarian main dishes every day. Like for example, veggie curry, fried tofu, dal, etc. So yeah, I would say it's pretty wholesome vegetarian food, at least better than what I have in the office. But yeah, I'm not vegetarian, and I found it a little hard to get enough protein sometimes. And I definitely relied a lot on dairy products like cheese, milk, yogurt. So yeah, if you're on a low carb diet, it might be a little tough, but hopefully your body adjusts. Yeah, and you cannot use your phone at all during this course. They even let me hand in my Garmin watch, so definitely no electronics and very limited talking. You definitely cannot talk to other students, or you can only talk to the course manager if you have any questions. And there are certain times of the day you can ask the assistant teachers questions. But that's it. So, no voice silence most of the time. And you're not allowed to bring books or any reading materials either. No pen or paper, so you cannot journal. No physical exercise is allowed either, except walking. So they have a short walking trail on site, and a lot of people just like go for a walk after breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And men and women are also completely segregated throughout the course. Even though we share the same meditation hall, but we sat on different sides, and the dining and residential areas were completely segregated. I didn't have any direct interaction with men the whole time. And then in terms of the timetable, your day starts at around 4 a.m. and ends around 9 p.m. There are times during the day you can eat and take rest, but other than that, pretty much just meditation all the time. That said, at least at my course, the schedule was kind of chill in terms of enforcement. Like the meal times are set for sure. No one would really force you to be in the meditation hall. I'll set up the group sittings. That's 3 hours every day, and then these courses. Yeah, it's definitely not recommended, but I slept in the first few days. I just couldn't wake up at 4 a.m. So yeah, I stayed in bed until breakfast. In terms of the fee, the course is completely free. It's funded entirely by donations from the old students. In fact, you are not even allowed to donate until you have completed a course. I find it very interesting. It's very aligned with the Buddhist spirit, I guess. It made me feel like a monk, honestly. Like you are living off others' generosity. You're not eating meat. You're not even seeing the opposite sex. Okay, so I think that's it with logistics. Now I want to talk about my own experience. I think I would describe my own experience as a mix between a rehab center meditation crash course and a low-key prison. It was definitely hard. Like every day brought a new challenge. I think the biggest challenge is the boredom itself, like dealing with your own thoughts. I feel like I have literally thought about everything that I could, like things that happened years ago when I was a child, like of my family, friends, of my ex-boyfriends, etc. And I have like counted so many things that could be counted, like the number of trees, the number of strips on my socks. Like there was one time during dinner, I had an orange and then I tore the peel of the orange apart into really small pieces and counted how many pieces there were. So I couldn't imagine how badly I was dealing with the boredom. And I read all the directions of all of my skincare products again and again. But yeah, I'm glad that I finished the course and I definitely have a lot of takeaways. So the biggest takeaway for me is a deeper understanding of this concept of impermanence. I always like to read about the Buddhism philosophies, like so I have heard of the concepts like impermanence, the Eightfold Path, blah, blah, blah. But it was always at an intellectual level. You know, in the Buddhism philosophy, the idea is that all human suffering comes from attachment. So when something feels good, you crave more of it. And if you cannot get it, then you feel pain. And when something feels bad, you want to get rid of it. And when you cannot, you feel aversion, which causes suffering. And then during this Vipassana meditation, you actually scan through your whole body, like your skin, inside of your body, everything. And whatever sensations arise, you just observe without reacting. Even when the pain got intense, especially during the 3 daily group sittings where you are not supposed to move your body at all. I just had to keep reminding myself that oh, this pain is impermanent. And it was true, like the pain always passed. The session would end and move my body and the pain would go away. It was just such a powerful real life example of this concept. And even the course itself was like that. There were moments when I thought this is the worst feeling ever. At one point, I felt so hungry and restless that I just sat there watching the clock, waiting for the time to pass. And I thought in my mind that what is actually felt worse than the days after my ACL surgery. But eventually the bell for the food rang and the pain passed too. So yeah, now I hope that in my everyday life going forward, I know that when things are going well, I will remember to savor it because it's temporary, it won't be there forever. And when things are hard, I will also remind myself that this will change too and eventually will get better. Also, going 10 days without a phone, it kind of helped with my phone I hadn't really been addicted to my phone in the sense of scrolling Instagram or TikTok all the time, but I did always use it as a way to distract myself when I was doing things. For example, I always had like music on or some podcasts on while I was driving, showering, or like running. But now I feel like I'm okay with just being with myself and my thoughts. And I definitely felt that I could focus better without any of these distractions. During the course, we also had a daily discourse by Goenka, the teacher, and it was like played on TV. It was a very low res video, probably recorded in the 80s or 90s. But I love this so much, and I looked forward to it every day like it was movie time. And I remembered everything that he said, probably because I wasn't like distracted. So I was so focused while I was watching these videos. And I also felt more creative. I guess without any input from the outside world, I ended up thinking a lot. And some of the girls made like art from the pine cones and the branches. And we got so creative just because there was nothing else to do. I also created this mental draft of this YouTube video while I was there. Last but not least, probably not the direct intention of doing this retreat, but I also felt a huge wave of gratitude. Like gratitude for things that I usually take for granted, like the internet, like Googling things, exercising, etc., etc. In the center, I was thinking that after I'm let free, I will appreciate everything I have in my normal life. I promise I won't complain about the snow being bad in Tahoe anymore. Yeah, on our way back, we stopped by Whole Foods and I looked at the groceries. I was like, oh my gosh, this is heaven. And also, not everyone has this luxury to take 10 days off and completely unplug. So I'm deeply grateful that I heard about this and got to do it. So yeah, this was my experience doing this 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, this is just my personal experience. So if you are thinking of going, I definitely recommend if the timing feels right for you. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer. And see you next time.